evening and welcome to the Coffee Access Travel Podcast, where we take you on a journey through the world of news, culture, gastronomy, lifestyle, and tourism in the central coffee growing region of Colombia. I'm your host, Erin Donaldson, and inviting you to grab a cup of coffee and join me as we explore the intersection of travel and discovery. And it's time for our news segment. Coming to you today from Manizales, we have great news that we are having a coffee bumper crop. That's right, coffee harvests this year have been reported much higher than the expected quantities. So we're getting quite the bumper crop. We're getting a larger than average harvest this year. However, there are issues. One of these issues is a lack of manpower for picking coffee. Another is rain. Right, as most farms are out picking, we have just had a rainy weekend of mostly light drizzle. But today on Sunday, it has been even heavier. This can create many risks for these coffee pickers and farmers. The ground becomes saturated, which makes it harder to traverse. And we do run a risk of landslides. Another issue is the rain can actually damage the crop if it gets too oversaturated. So we really need a good combo of sunshine and hopefully a little bit less rain than what we've been having. We want our pickers out there to be safe, and we have a high demand for pickers. So if you want to try your hand at it, check it out. You can contact your local comité to ask how you can become a coffee picker. Not necessarily the greatest paying job, but I think I would try it once. Would you? And continuing our news, August 16th through 19th was not only a holiday weekend, but it was the Fiestas de Retorno in Anserma, Caldas, the grandmother of Caldas. Now, Anserma is a pueblo about 2 hours from Manizales and about 2 hours from Pereira, 2.5, which was founded on August 15th of 1539 by Jorge Robledo, one of the original conquistadores of Colombia. Its name was originally Santa Ana de los Caballeros and was actually one of the first Spanish settlements in Colombia 29 years after Santa Marta, Cartagena de las Indias, Santiago de Cali, Popayán, Santa Fe de Bogotá, which is now the capital, which is Bogotá, and others. Here's a quick fact about Anserma. Did you know that the Paso Doble song, which we hear quite a lot in Colombia, especially in January, around the time of the Feria de Manizales, so the Paso Doble song is actually called Feria de Manizales. Ay, Manizales de Feria. Something like that, okay? Anyways, it was actually written by an Ansermeño poet named Guillermo González Ospina. Believe it? I didn't know until I started researching for this episode, and guess what? Which brings me to my main topic for today. We're going to have a gastronomy segment where I will tell you about my favorite type of cold brew. Stay with me here, and in just a minute we're going to switch over to the video I made where I set up my cold brew coffee maker, and I'm going to tell you all about it and how it works and what the benefits are and why I like this cold brew style coffee as much as I do. Hi, my name is Erin Donaldson, your host with Coffee Access Travel. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite methods of making coffee. So, here we go. This is a type of cold brew method, which has a thermos, this neck, should I snug, the top reservoir, okay. Inside, I have a button where I can open up the valve to allow everything to go to the bottom. But we're not gonna do that right now. Right now, we're going to finish our assembly. Okay. Found. We have a coarse ground coffee. Not too fine. That's how we want it. We have cold water. Enough to fill the thermos up to about here. So let's get started. Now, cold brew methodology is another way to make coffee in a different way. Put a little bit of coffee in here. And now I'm gonna start pouring my water. I'm gonna tap in here, get the coffee wet. I'm gonna fill up another ounce of coffee. Pour some water. Okay. So last ounce of coffee. Filling that up. As the water comes down, I add some more in. The coffee is added in 3 different steps where I add the coffee, put the water, add the coffee, put the water, add the coffee. So that's 3 ounces or 3 tablespoons of coffee. And we just keep adding our water. This has a hole in it. Now that hole is what's going to allow my coffee to drain down in the morning. But right now I want to create a seal on this coffee and I don't want to let any air in. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. Make sure it's in there. And then finally, we screw the lid on, creating that seal. And we give it a shake. Okay. And we'll be back tomorrow morning where I will show you the end result. Good morning. So, our coffee has been sitting now for over 15 hours, almost 15 hours. I had to do some work this morning, so I haven't had time to drain it yet. And now what we're going to do is we're going to open up the tab. This allows air to flow. And we're going to push the button. Can you hear it? I can hear it flowing down into the bottom here. It's going to fill up the thermos. And we're going to go ahead and drain out the upper reservoir in the US. Our cold. Here we go. We're almost completely empty here. This is probably one of the only cold brew methods I've never run into in Colombia. It's kind of unique. But the thermos is really good quality. I've had this for several years. I've never had issues with the function. It's been really good quality. It's lasted. This is not a sponsored video. I'm just doing a coffee brewing method that I think is really cool, that I really like. Alright, here we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part off here. Here we go. Put that off to one side over here. That smells really good. I'm going to try a little bit. See, it's kind of a honey color. It's not a real dark brew at all. Tastes actually pretty strong. It's, for how light colored it is, that's pretty potent coffee. And I've now got my cold brew coffee here. So, hope you enjoyed my video. And stay tuned for next week's podcast. that's it for today. The Coffee Access Travel Podcast is your source for news, lifestyle, culture, and tourism information about this region. If you enjoyed our podcast, be sure to subscribe via patreon.com/coffeeaccesstravel, where you will get updates anytime a new episode comes out for no more than the cost of a cup of coffee. And if you own a local business that is of interest to local foreign residents and visitors, please email us at coffeeaccesstravel@gmail.com to learn how you can sponsor our episodes. And that's it. Until next week, my name is Erin Donaldson, your host, signing off.